Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Let's continue learning from Master YongHua Chan Chi teachings.
什么事情都有问题，没有问题也有问题所以大家都往道上会，个人呢都往自己回光返照，很不对。
Even when there is no problem, there are problems. Everybody themselves should return the light to illuminate inward.
对的地方只能对着做，对的地方更要往好的做。这是我对你们大家一个简单的。
Whatever you do wrong, you should try to do it right. Whatever you do right, you should try harder to do better. This is my warning to you all.
发点声。再给你们讲一件事，也是我自己的亲身的经验。那么我不知道这是对不对。
I will tell you another story, which was also my personal experience. I don't know whether it was right or wrong.
Okay, well, that's a new topic, so let's close out what he was talking about. Okay. The Master says the last week, he says that when you resolve to the way, there's no problem. When you don't resolve for the way, there's everything is a problem. And I explained to you that I would teach you exactly the opposite, and that's how we've been training you, because that's what has really happened. That is, when you resolve to cultivate the way, you're going to encounter a lot of obstructions, and that's a very good thing. And when you don't want to cultivate, that everything is fine. So that's truly the way it's happening in the world right now, in our era. Okay, so quite often my instructions are different from the Master because the times are different and the audience is different. Let me reiterate for you, stress for you. If he were here and he were looking at you and look at your levels and how far you come, then I'm pretty sure that he would have said things quite similar to mine, to what I just told you. Because in child instructions, it's very flexible. It's not one instruction for everyone. The instructions are tailored towards the listeners, to the students. Okay, remember, these instructions are very important to us because this is the first time he gave instructions from the way that the Chinese, the Asians, Chan schools, the Chan Chis were organized, how the Chinese practice. And very successfully. They produce a lot of talents in Mahayana in China. So there's something we need to learn from. And however, this is not China, this is the United States. This is not something, we need something that works better in our era, in our centuries, and the more centuries to come. And therefore, I think it's important for us to learn from the Chinese, to understand the fundamentals of cultivation, while at the same time, we need to adapt it to the specific cultivators, the people who actually are cultivating, okay, so that you get better results faster. Because I observed when I was there, when my master's gone, they continue the same style of cultivation. They basically listen to Master Xuan's instructions, and that's it. And that's what the Chanti was about. And so really, we were, if that's the way that the Chinese practice, then I'm afraid they will never catch up with them. So we need to do something more appropriate for our era, for our times, I feel personally. So I changed a lot, okay? But it's so important to go back to the basics, the fundamentals of what cultivation is, okay? It says that on slide 147, it says, even though you see no problems, whether you cultivate or not, there are always problems. That's a fact. Look, we all dying. We all are getting sicker. Okay? We're all getting older and sicker. It's just life, whether you want to face it or not. So there's problems right there. What else do you want? I mean, what else is more important than your health, your well-being? Okay? Money will not be able to buy you health and well-being. Okay? In fact, the exact opposite happens. Ordinary people, worldly people, they sacrifice their bodies, their minds, in order to make a living. And by the time they can retire, and they have enough money to retire, or near the end of their lives, they realize that the body is sick. Okay? And that's why, that's what happens when you spend your entire life ignoring, looking outside only, looking at analyzing the world and building towers and bridges. Okay? You neglecting your own welfare, your own physical, mental, and in particular, spiritual well-being. That's wrong. That's very short-sighted. Okay? Because if you neglect them, these problems will come and bite you eventually. Okay? So every day I hear people who are getting sick and getting not only physically sick but also mentally sick. Okay? I drove out this morning to run an errand. I saw lines of people waiting to get tested. It's scary. People are terrified right now of getting infected. Okay? It's just, so we only react to problems. We don't know how. We're not prepared to deal with our problems. That's sad. That's how ordinary people live their lives. We practice Chan in order to learn how to cope with our problems. In particular, Chan will make you healthier. Okay, and if the funny thing, I mentioned this, I commented about this at lunch today. I said, look at these people. Everyone right now, hospitals are overwhelmed because doctors are getting sick, nurses are calling in sick. Everyone is overwhelmed because they got the COVID-19. And so everyone is rushing to get tested. So, and then the funny thing is that if you get a positive result, what are you going to do? Not much you can do either. So that's what happens to worldly people. They only react to problems. Okay? And when the problem comes, disasters come, they don't know what to do with it. They're unprepared. And whereas in our small world, we meditate, and if this COVID-19 here, I keep on stressing you, it's just a flu virus that happens to be very good at attacking your respiratory system. That's all. Okay? So if you learn how to deal with the flu virus immediately, okay, then You won't have these problems with the respiratory problems. And so for the people who practice Chan like us, when we get infected, what do? We meditate. The flu virus is a yin invasion. It's a yin energy. It comes into our body, especially stays around your throat areas first, to set up camps, and then they build the armies there. They multiply. So once they come in, we realize it. We use Chan to produce yang energy to burn them up. Okay, so we have countermeasures for them. Even if they're in and before a long time before you discover them, you still can do the yang, increase the yang qi to destroy the armies, the yin forces. Okay, so it may take you a little bit longer to recover, but still, you're still in control. Okay, whereas worldly people, they're totally unprepared. They only learn how to deal with external things. They never learn how to take care of the body. Okay, and that's why worldly people says they don't realize that there's no problem. They're happy. They go about their merry ways, go celebrate New Year's, and then after New Year's, they realize the problems. They've been exposed to the virus. Okay, so that's a big difference here about cultivators versus ordinary people. Cultivators, okay, we prepare ourselves. We take care of ourselves, maintain our health every day, and we develop skills in order to take care of ourselves. Even better, dedicated people like us, love home people, we have this ideal. Not only do we learn to take care of ourselves, we want to develop really solid skills in order to help others take care of themselves. Because most of you don't know how, most of the people out there don't take care of themselves. So we'll have to help them if we are given a chance. That's all. That's what this is about. Okay? And how do you do it? How do you build your kung fu? How do you build your skills? You should return the light and illuminate inward. Okay? That's the basis of Chan. Okay, this is very Chinese. Return the light and illuminate at yourself. What does it mean? Okay? Meaning that if you realize you are creating offenses, then you should stop, not cover it up. Not manipulate others in order to side with you. That's not a behavior of a cultivator. That's a low life. Okay? You know you're doing wrong. Cut it out. Stop it. To stop doing wrong. Okay? Whatever you do right, do more of it. Okay? This is Chan. Meaning that you should do it right now during the Chan Chi. And after the Chan Chi, you do exactly the same thing. You go back to your own life. Some people have come here for a week or two or whatever already. They came back to their regular life. This is what they should continue to do. Look at yourself. Look at your mistakes. You're creating offenses, stop it. Don't say, I can't do that. You have to try. You should try to fix it. This is what cultivation is about. Try to do something you cannot. Try to do something because it's the right thing to do, even though you're no good at it. All right? Any questions? You think Chan is like something like, so extraordinary that you makes you a lofty person? We're talking about fundamentals, the fundamentals being a decent human being. Chan practitioners are decent human beings. If you are not a decent human being, you will not become enlightened. Yes, too.
그러니까 제가 결과부자는 대신에 방과부자로 앉은 지 15일 정도 되었고요. 물론 이제 완벽하게 스케줄대로 하지는 못했는데요. 질문은 현재 방과부자를 15일 정도 하다 보니 오른쪽 발목의 뒤꿈치를 빼고 세 부위가 통증이 있고 오른쪽 발목의 바깥쪽은 살짝 부었습니다. 그래서 질문은 이대로 계속 방과부자를 해야 되는지를 질문드립니다. 세라님 카카오톡 보시면 있어요.
네. Master, I have a question about sitting. I was not able to do the full lotus, and you advised to sit in half lotus. So I've been trying for 15 days. And I was not able to follow the schedule completely, but have been trying. And so right now the situation is my right ankle, 3 areas are swollen, and then except the heel, all over the places I feel the pain. And then the outside of the ankle, right ankle area is swollen. My question is, should I continue to sit in a half lotus position?
The left ankle, how's the left ankle?
Right. Can you repeat one more time? I'm sorry, Master.
How's the left ankle?
그러니까 매일매일 체크를 하는데 1시간 정도 되면 1시간 정도가 조금 1시간 반 정도 되면 왼쪽 발목의 바깥쪽 부분이 아파요.
So I've been checking daily. So when I sit about 1.5 hours, my left ankle start to get hurt.
When you given instructions already, you continue to sit, and when you can't sit, you go and work. Okay, and so this cultivation here, there's something called fundamentals. You have the wrong fundamentals, you will not go very far. Okay? Because people don't understand that everything needs a proper foundation. And the foundation is here, you build a foundation by getting rid of your faults, getting rid of the impurities. Before you build a sword, you need to remove and work the steel, remove the impurities of the steel. Otherwise, the sword is no good. So what's the point in spending time and making a sword very sharp, and it can't last one battle, it gets broken? Okay? This is the problem with people in the world. They learn meditation, they learn tantras, they learn all these things, and they lack the proper fundamentals. Without fundamentals, you get nowhere. Okay, so this the light to illuminate inward here means get rid of your faults. Look at your faults and fix them. Don't cover up. Don't make excuses. Don't blame others for your problems. It's wicked. It's evil to make excuses for your own problems and go twist things in order to justify yourself, defend yourself, and blame others for your problems. You get afflicted, let me remind you, you are at fault. It's no one else's fault that you get afflicted. Okay, questions? Okay, so it's moving on to another story, another point. Okay.
嗯，有人呢就说是对，有人呢就说是不对。对的人他就说是。
Some said it was right. Some said it was wrong. The ones who said it was right would say it was good.
好，不对的人他就说是坏。什么事情呢？我又想起来了。
The one who said it was wrong would say it was not good. What was it? I remember now.
在我母亲旁边那个坟的旁边守孝的时候，在这个时候啊，就是很多人呢去供。
When I was observing filial piety beside my mom's grave, at that time, many people went there to make offerings to me.
有的买一点这个东西，有的送一点那个东西。总而言之啊，都是吃的，可以吃的，可以穿的这些个东西。
Some bought this, others brought that. All in all, they were all food. They were things like food and clothes.
当时啊，就有一个比丘，这个比丘呢，他的神通大了。什么神通呢？
At that time, there was a bhikkhu. This bhikkhu had great spiritual penetration. What spiritual penetration?
专门能吃，他也是一天吃一餐。他这一天吃一餐，这一餐吃多少东西呢？
He could eat a lot. He also eats one meal a day. He eats one meal a day. But how much does he eat for each meal?
这么大的碗，这么大，这个碗呢，大约里边最低限度可以装10磅，10磅真磅。
Such a big bowl, which can probably hold at least 10 pounds inside. A big bowl that can hold 10 pounds.
他可以吃这么3碗，这么3大碗。他吃的 快的很快很快。哦，但是和那恶鬼吃东西是一样的。
He can eat 3 bowls, 3 big bowls that size. He eats very fast, very, very fast. He truly eats like a hungry ghost.
啊，这个比丘啊，这么大的神通，他想我在那守孝，一定也是没有东西吃。
This bhikkhu, with such a big spiritual power, he thought that I must have had nothing to eat when observing filial piety there.
于是乎啊，他就送了这么一筐，这个用竹子织的这个筐，一筐那个里2外8。
So, he sent a bucket made of bamboo. Inside the bucket was full of inside 2, outside 8. This is how it looks like.
里2外8，就是赵州和尚啊，不懂的这个是什么？
Inside 2, outside 8. Venerable Zhao Zhou didn't know what it is. There's some background information about Venerable Zhao Zhou, which is not from Master YongHua. Shall I introduce or skip?
Sure, would help.
So, Master Zhao Zhou, his full name is Zhao Zhou Chongnian. He's a famous Chan master from the Tang dynasty. He left the home life at a very young age and met Chan master Nanquan Puyuan at the age of 18. Nanquan Puyuan was a successor of Ma Zu Dao Yi, Venerable Ma Zu Dao Yi. And Venerable Zhao Zhou attained enlightenment through a dialogue with Master Nanquan on the topic of an ordinary mind is the way, 平常心是道. And he also practiced under Master Nanquan for over 20 years.
Okay, so that's a good background information. Okay, just for more information for your sake, back then, after the 6 patriarchs, there were some eminent disciples later in later generations. Not necessarily the 7th patriarch, but later generations. And that is to tell you that it's we take care of our own. The great teachers will come out because of the students' abilities. So you don't have to worry about whether the next patriarch is competent or not. None of your business. Okay? You should cultivate and rest assured that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas watch over you. If you're competent, someone real competent will show up and teach you, will manifest and teach you. Okay? In particular, if there are lots of you, then they will come out, like Master Ma Zu. Ma Zu is a very, very famous Chan patriarch, okay? Later generation after 6 patriarch. And he taught so many enlightened people and great Chan masters later. And one of them is Zhao Zhou. And the way that Master Ma Zu was famous for when he taught Chan, okay, is that he says the 平常心是道, the ordinary mind is the way. Not an ordinary mind, is the ordinary mind is the way. And he's the first one who taught that. Okay, so this is his teaching for his Chan students. Okay, And so that's made this. Made him. This teaching is originated from him. So that's it. Kind of tells you that don't look for anywhere else to cultivate. Don't go look for some sort of something else that in order for you to cultivate, to become enlightened. It's your ordinary mind that is the source of your enlightenment, is a key to your enlightenment. You practice away by looking at your ordinary mind. I give you instructions. I give you, for example, I tell you to sit in half lotus, and you cannot sit in half lotus, get up and work. That's the instruction. What do? You do it for a few days, for 10 days, for 2 weeks. I've done enough. What's the next instruction? That's your ordinary mind is like that. Your ordinary mind is always looking for something else outside. Whereas I'm telling you very simple instructions. Sit until you can't anymore. And you can't anymore, get up. Go create blessings. What's so difficult to understand? And you keep on harassing me about, give me more instruction and give me more instructions. As if you're so important. What kind of mind is that? You think you can become enlightened with that kind of mind? You're so special, you're so important, you're so impatient, that there must be something more to this. The 6th patriarch, when he met the 5th patriarch, he says, I'm here to seek the way. I gave up my mother to learn the way. Please teach me. What did he say? What did the 5th patriarch tell him? Go work. Did you do? Did he a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later come back and say, what else do I need to do? No. He worked and worked and worked. What's the matter with you? You must be babysit all the time, hold your hand being held all the time or along the way. You're given instruction. You know how many people are given instructions? Execute. How many times do I have to tell you? Yes, one.
Mô Phật bạch Thầy. Từ ngày con tới chùa của Thầy đó thì con bây giờ sám hối với Thầy rất là nhiều. Quán Ngân không tới đây Thầy có dạy thiền đó, Thầy gọi Quán Ngân cũng cố gắng để học thiền. Mà con ngồi thiền không có được. Ngồi một lần nó đau, tôi không biết cỡ nào mà mình phải nhìn cái đồng hồ cho nó hết giờ để mình đi. Xong á, thì cái cẳng mình cứ đau hoài thôi. Mà mấy năm nay cũng vậy, ngồi mỗi lần ngồi là đau. Thiệt thực cũng vậy đó Thầy. Mỗi lần thiệt thực á, nó khó chịu mà nó mệt mỏi mà không biết cỡ nào luôn. Mình cũng không biết sao mà người ta ngồi mà người ta cái gì người ta cũng im lặng hết trơn mà mình ngồi vô trong giống con khỉ vậy đó. Chỗ đó nhảy gãi. Bây giờ con cũng nhiều khi con cũng ngồi thiền đó thì con núp ở trong cái mé ngồi không, chứ con không dám ngồi ở đại chúng. Là cái thứ nhất. Thì cái tội của mình đó, cái nghiệp của mình đó mang tới giờ đó, năm nay con 70 mấy tuổi, con mới thấy được cái nghiệp của mình. Mình cứ bao che cái nghiệp của mình. bao che tới không biết cỡ nào. Bây giờ đó cái chân mình nó đã đau mà nó đi mà không biết làm sao mình diễn tả ra những cái đau đớn của mình. Mà mỗi bây giờ nó đau đớn như vậy đó thì quả ngân nó đau chừng nào quả ngân thức tỉnh chừng đó. Thức tỉnh làm sao? Thức tỉnh mình đó đã bao che những cái nghiệp của mình quá lại. Bây giờ cái chân mình đau đó mình từ từ mình buông xả. Chứ quả ngân đó hả, cái loại mà ở trong gia đình đó là cũng phải cầm đầu một cái gia đình. Mà mình nghĩ tới bây giờ đó thì phải buông xả hết tất cả những cái chuyện mà mình phải buông xả. Thì bây giờ đó mình buông xả như vậy đó thì cái thanh tâm mình đó rất là nhẹ nhàng. Nó không có bó buộc bằng mà ngày xưa vậy đó. Nó ôm cho cứng rồi đó. Mà nó xảy ra những cái chuyện gì mình cũng không có thể biết hết trơn đó. Thì ngày nay đó, trong 2 năm nay đó, cái chân mà con nó đau tới bây giờ con thức tỉnh. Con phải buông xả cho cái tâm hồn mình, cho cái Phật tánh mình dám nói như vậy, cái Phật tánh mình cho nó nhẹ nhàng. Thì nó không có phiền não ở trong cái Phật tánh của mình, mà cái thân của mình đó thì bây giờ nó đau như vậy để cho ngày cho mình thức tỉnh. Nam mô Phật Bạch Thầy.
Master, I would like to repent to you that I've been at your temple so many years, and I know that at this temple you specialize in teaching Chan. I tried to learn to meditate, but I couldn't sit long. I couldn't sit still, and then now I'm getting old. My leg hurt a lot, so I encounter a lot of problem. Same thing when I fast. I also encounter a lot of difficulty. And then I look around, people sit very still, but then when I sit, I'm like a monkey, keep moving around. And then that's why I didn't dare to sit with people, but I have to hide in a corner. And now I'm 70 plus years old, and I see that I start to recognize more about my karma, my obstruction, and then it manifests in my leg pain. And then, when I walk, it's so painful that I couldn't describe how pain it is. And actually, this kind of pain, it's awakened me that, okay, this is from my karma. And the leg pain is actually teaching me to learn how to let go, because I used to be the leader of the family, the head of the family. I've been taking care of a lot of things, but now it is a time for me to learn to let go of it, to empty my mind, and then so, for the last 2 years with this leg pain, I've been awakened a lot. And then I know that, okay, I need to let go so that my Buddha nature will not be afflicted, and then I will feel peace and bliss.
You still have the same problem as 20 years ago. There's no difference. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you came and you decided to support me, support the temple. You came to plant blessings. You didn't come to learn. It's the same problem as before. All you're doing is plant blessings. You're not learning anything. It hasn't changed. And what happened is that even though you didn't want, your intention was not to learn, but your blessings help you understand things. That's why you were able to do Chan Qis, you were able to continue for so long. Where other people who came to plant blessings only didn't plan enough, that's why they're gone. You're one of the old surviving disciples of mine. I know you're a disciple of Master YongHua. He didn't teach you anything. I'm the one who's teaching you. Okay, those people, just like you, your generation just came to plant blessings. You didn't come to learn from me. Okay? But the reason you're here is because you learn a little bit of a Chan, you learn a little bit of the Dharma. That's the difference. You liked it. The other people came. They only wanted to plant blessings, and when things weren't the way they wanted, they left. They said, this is not what I want. Okay? You're slightly different. Okay? But right now, your problem is that you realize that you should wake up to the fact that you still have the same problem. You always tell me what you think. You always tell me what you know. You never ask me, Master, what should I do? So what you've been doing the last 15 years is collecting garbage from me. You go and you pick a bit of here, a bit of there from others, but you never got any teachings from me. And that's why you don't know how to solve your problems. You decide to do how you solve problems when other people around you know so much more than you. Because I taught them. You have never been trying to seek instructions from me at all. And until the day you die, that's not going to change. You will do what you think is right for you.
Mô Phật, con bây giờ sám hối với Thầy. Từ ngày con gặp Thầy tới ngày nay đó Thầy, con cũng không có nghe lời Thầy những cái gì hết trơn, con dám nói như vậy.
All you wanted from me is that send my mother to the Pure Land. Help me expose my family to Mahayana. Okay? You always get what you wanted, but you never wanted me to teach you. So, that's why where you are today. Your blessing got you this far, and the reason you cannot go much further because you're running out of blessings. When are you going to wake up to that? You think it's easy to come here? It takes a lot of blessings. When your blessings run out, you run away. You've seen those people already. This is not just for her, for all of you. When the mind comes, when your mind says, I'm out of here, I have enough of this is nonsense. Warning, you out of blessings. It's not, I don't want to teach you. It's just you don't deserve to be taught anymore. That's why you don't listen.
Mô Phật và Thầy, con sám hối với Thầy. Thầy rất là từ bi. Mới để quả ngân ở tới ngày nay, miễn mà Thầy không có từ bi thì quả ngân cũng phải dời đi nữa. Mà con nghĩ Thầy quá là từ bi, tới giờ này con mới thấy được Thầy rất là từ bi. Mô Phật.
Master, I would like to repent that since I get to know you until today, I didn't really listen to you. And I recognize that you are very compassionate, that you let me stay until today. If you don't have compassion, probably I already left long time ago.
You're right. I like you because you tried to help my mother. When she had nothing, you came and helped my mother and built Lu Mountain Temple, and you stuck around with her until I came. That I'm grateful to you. That's your blessings. It's not cooking for me. Your blessing came from helping my mother. I'm grateful for that. That's the only thing that matters to me. You helped my mother. So I help yours. Understand? But I'm clear about our relationship. You're Master Shoha disciples, you're not mine. I understand that. And that's why you never seek instruction. Even when you're dying, when you're running out of blessing, you don't know what else to do. Because your blessing for helping my mother can take you so far, that's it. You see how far I got from helping my mother? That's where it came from. Those people never care for my mother. You care for my mother. I like it. You're a decent human being. You have a heart. Where is your heart? The master says, Mazu says, this is so important. What did he say? When Chan was still in its infancy in China, everyone says, how do I practice Chan? He says, you practice Chan with your ordinary mind. It's no different from your ordinary mind. What kind of Chan are you practicing if you lie all the time? You manipulate all the time. You make excuses all the time. What kind of Chan is that? What kind of mind is that? You think with that mind you can go very far? And that's how this Chao Cho became enlightened. He said, oh my God, I better clean up my mind. I cannot be so petty. I cannot be so selfish. Cannot think of myself so highly. What kind of mind is that? What kind of person is that? You keep on blaming others. They're not good enough for me. They're too stupid. I'm much smarter. What kind of mind is that? You're so arrogant. You can't even see people are better than you. So much better than you. You can't even see how ugly you are. What kind of mind is that? It's sad. I'm teaching, I'm telling you. Look at your mind. What kind of person are you? When I was at my master's temple, I was so disgusted. You know why? Because I saw how my elders behaved. I said, this is not proper of a monk. I do not wish to be associated with such people. I would not like myself if I'm accepted by such people. Yes, I will get the temples, I will get the money, I will get the disciples and recognition, the name and so forth, a hung name and so forth. But then what? I have to face myself every day. What kind of person am I? What kind of mind do I have? Seeking recognition? That's against my master's teaching. If I accept them and accept them because I need to belong, then what kind of mind do I have? It's a seeking mind. It's a greedy mind. How can I possibly like myself? I don't even like them. I have to be like that in order to belong. What kind of BS is that? Huh? Because furthermore, the Chan teachers, the great Chinese Chan teachers said after that, and Master Mazu first started with this, the ordinary mind is the way. Look at your mind every day. What kind of thoughts do you have? Are you petty? Do you lie? Are you generous? Are you selfish? Are you manipulative? Do you lie? Do you seek? You seek. You climb on conditions. You fight. You think you can prosper from Master Srinath's Dharma, which I'm transmitting to you? Yes, too.
Master, if going got thus far due to helping your mom, not cooking, then what got Rula thus far cooking or helping your mom? This is from Apple.
None of your business. Look at your damn problem. You always say, why is that? Why is that? Look at your own mind. Sigmund gossiping, because of that. None of your damn business. Look at your own mind. Look at the kind of mind you have. Gossiping. Oh, she's there because of so-and-so. Oh, she's there because so-and-so. Why don't you look at yourself? Why are you there? And then, so Master Mazu said, very important, says, you guys don't know how to practice Chan. I may tell you, Chan practice is the mind you have right there, that you have every day. That's how you practice Chan. Master Mazu, Master Hui Neng said even before that, he says, if you look for enlightenment outside of your daily life, of your ordinary mind, it's like looking for a hare with horns. Okay? We're looking for Bugs Bunny with horns. That's not possible. He made it very clear. Now, Mazu specifies it, your ordinary mind is the way. If your ordinary mind lies, your ordinary mind cheats, your ordinary mind suppresses people, oppresses people, how can you possibly become enlightened? How can you possibly like yourself? How can you possibly live with yourself? How can you possibly expect your husband to live with you if you like that? If you hang around with people like that, what kind of person are you? So later, in order to help people who have less blessings, few blessings, another Chan patriarch says, the straight mind is the way. Be as straight as an arrow. Worldly people always like this, like playing soccer, you know? Yeah? You don't know which way, they don't know which way you're going. That's how they defend yourself. How sad it is. You keep on trying to con people, feeling you must protect yourself by pretending to be someone you're not. How can you cultivate like that? How can you live like that? How can you love someone like that? So this monk here, Zhao Zhou, he was taught the ordinary mind the way, so he got it. He became enlightened. He says, I'm going to look at my mind. That's it. What kind of mind do I have? What kind of person am I? I'm so impatient that I need constant attention all the time. Then I won't become enlightened. If I think I'm better than others, I won't become enlightened. There's no such a thing as me better than others. How stupid can you be? You're not better than anyone else. You have that kind of mind, you're so inferior. You can't even see how others are superior. And that's why they're here. People come here and learn the Dharma because they're superior. They're Buddhas to be. You don't think you're better because it could change in a flash. That's the nature of Mahayana. No lead is ever safe. I demonstrated to Master YongHua disciples. You think you're better? After because you cultivate 20, 30 years, I have news for you. I cultivated 20 million lifetimes before you. How does 20 years, 30 years make any difference? How stupid can you be? To look at his face. I don't know whether it's a true drawing or not, whether it's a true face or not. Does he look like the man who lies, who cheats, who tries to con people? Look at yourself. What kind of mind do you have? If your mind is negative, get rid of it. Your mind thinks you're better than others, get rid of it. There's no such a thing. You're not better than anyone else. Trust me. Not here. Let me repeat again. You're not better than anyone else here. There's so many people far better than you. Don't you dare think you're better than anyone else around here. These people, when you look around, you can't even tell they're outstanding. What kind of teacher is that? When I'm gone and you guys start teaching, you're going to play games with people, try to fool people? We are straight as an arrow. We are it. Black is black, white is white. No excuses. You can't make it. It's your fault. No one else's. You're too stupid to realize it even. Keep on blaming others. You think you know what to do because they tell you what to do? They're a bunch of idiots. So after he taught, he became enlightened. What did he do? He practiced under Master Mazi for 20 years. Superior monk. Continue.
Cái trao đầu和尚呢，有一天，人家问说：“和尚，你什么都知道，第二万法是什么？”
Venerable Zhao Zhou, one day, somebody asked him, Venerable, you know everything. What is inside 2, outside 8?
和尚拿来给老僧吃了的，但是他不知道叫什么名，不知道叫什么名。
He said, Bring it over for me to eat it. But he didn't know what it is. Didn't know what it is.
因为他不知道叫什么名字，他就和他这个侍者开了一个小会，小小的会议。
Because he didn't know what it is, he had a little meeting with his attendant, a little meeting.
就说我借你一点东西，好不好？
He said, I would like to borrow something from you. What do you say?
这个侍者就是天天来帮他掌居啊，提香炉啊，这 这个种来服侍他，就来伺候他，一个出家人。
The attendant was the one who opened his sitting clothes and carried his censer every day, was the one who served him as such, was the left-home person who served him.
就是那和尚你，只要我有的东西，你借什么我都可以借给你。
For Master, as long as I have it, whatever you would like to borrow, I will lend it to you.
这个赵就说啊，那你答应我了，现在你不能不算了。这个侍者说可以，答应你。
Zhao Zhou said, "So, you agreed. Okay, now, you cannot go back on your promise." The attendant said, "Yes, I agreed."
现在你回去，现在睡一觉，睡完了觉我再告诉你。这个侍者回去一睡觉。
Now you go back. You go back now and sleep. When you wake up, I will let you know. The attendant went back and slept.
觉一醒了，他变成赵州和尚了。这个胡子很长的，有80多岁。
When he woke up, he had become Venerable Zhao Zhou for real. His beard was very long, and he was over 80 years old.
我怎么变成和尚了呢？
How did I become the Venerable Master?
一找到自己，一看自己那个年轻的，这个身体，不是自己，自己变成和尚。
He looked for himself. Once he saw himself, he saw that his young body was no longer his, that he himself had become the Venerable Master.
这个就找和尚去算账去到那儿看看自己去，去看自己。
Thus, he went to the master to get even. He went there to see himself, to have a look.
看自己，这个也睡醒了，在那个照着去，慢慢还给你。
He saw himself over there. The other one woke up as well. Zhao Zhou said, "Don't make a fuss. Don't make a fuss. I will give it back to you later."
现在不要看，不要问。那这个年轻的人呢，这个侍者在走。
Now don't argue and don't go out. So the young one, the attendant, left.
走了，这个侍者年轻的就是这个赵州和尚，本来他80多。
The attendant left. This young one was Venerable Zhao Zhou.
对，他把这个侍者这个20多岁的这个身体给换去就走到。
Originally, he was over 80 years old. He exchanged his body with that of his attendant, who was in his 20s. He made the exchange and then left.
这个北方，然后看人家这个做那个里二外八，这个。
He walked to the northern area and saw people making this inside 2, outside 8.
里边用2个手指头，外边有8个手指头。原来是什么呢？北方那叫窝窝头， 窝窝头。
That person used 2 fingers inside and 8 fingers outside to make it. Venerable Zhao Zhou asked him, "What is this?" In the north, it is called 窝窝头, 窝窝头. So this is how you make it here. And it's a steamed corn bun.
That's 1-4, not 2-8.
我心里很不知道，这个里边是空的，做的时候要里边用2个手，外边要用这个8个手指头，里边用2个手指头，外边。
Inside it is hollow. When making it, one would use 8 fingers outside.
这么做，做完了它是蒸熟的，可以吃。
One would use 2 thumbs on the inside and 8 fingers on the outside, like that. When this was done, one steamed them to eat.
这叫什么？这个最修的是这叫窝窝头啊。所以他又回来，他把这个年轻的这个身体又交回去给这个世。
What is this called? This is called 窝窝头. So he came back and returned the young body to the attendant.
这个老的身体他又自己拿回来。那么为什么呢？
And he took back his old body. Why?
他因为这个老的身体走路啊是很不方便，不太听招呼，所以他换一个年轻的换回来。所以说。
Because his old body was not convenient for walking, it didn't listen to him well, so he exchanged it for a younger one, and then exchanged it back.
赵州80换行脚，80岁了还去行脚。
Thus, it was said, Zhao Zhou still traveled at the age of 80. He was 80 years old, yet he still traveled.
不过他行脚不是他自己，是他换来这个身体。你呀，你脚手脚的脚。
But he didn't use his own body. He used the exchanged body.
就是种了一筐这个东西。这个比丘是叫什么名字？叫止一，止就停止的止，一就是一个的一。
He sent a bucket of this. What's this bhikshu's name? It was 止一.
他意思大要也就是一天只吃一餐，止一，只吃一餐，但是可吃的很多。
The meaning was probably eating only 1 meal a day. 止一 only eat 1 meal, but he eats a lot.
那么他送了一筐这个东西，这个东西一天吃不了，他以为他这大约1、2天就可以吃完了这些东西。
So, he sent a bucket of these 窝窝头. I couldn't finish them in a day. He probably thought I could finish them in a day or 2.
但是给我吃了有半个多月，也没有吃完这个东西，没有吃完，先吃那个没有问题呀。
But I ate them for more than half a month and still couldn't finish them. These things I couldn't finish eating them. When I first started eating them, there was no problem.
我那时候天气也热，天气热的不得了，最后这个窝窝头都长了这么长的毛。
At that time, it was hot. It was extremely hot. So, at the end, the Wowoto grew such long hair.
长有1寸多长这个毛，里边外边都长这么长的毛。但是这个东西呀，真难吃的很。
The hair grew to over an inch long, both inside and outside. They grew hair this long. This stuff really tasted horrible.
哎，我把这个毛拿开就吃这个东西，这个东西呀，和那个粪的味道是一点没有分别。
I took off the hair and ate them. The flavor of this stuff was absolutely no different from the flavor of excrement.
Look, so listening to the stories so far, this is when he was observing filial piety at mother's grave. He was like a teenager, 11, 12, 13 or so. Maybe 19, 18, 19 max. Okay, maybe around 18, 19. And he ate them and tasting like excrement. Who thinks, anyone feels that he or she can do it? This is to prove to you, at this point here, he's a 4th-stage arhat. Okay, so he and this is a typical of the practice, the Buddhist practice. You practice by yourself, meditation by yourself. You can reach 4th-stage arhat. Okay, and he did. Okay, which is most remarkable for a person by himself like that. So that should prove to you he has tremendous blessings. He has no teacher whatsoever. Okay, maybe the 6th patriarch came and taught him when he was 6 or 7 years old. Apparently, he told his disciples. But other than that, he didn't say that anyone taught him at all. So the mere fact that he was cultivating, was meditating every day, enduring the cold, enduring the leg pains and so forth, because it's not easy to be out there in the open. And those of you who don't know, have the background, his mother died, so he said by the Chinese tradition, you would sit by your mother's grave for 3 years to observe filial piety, to repay the kindness of your mother, okay? And that's what the Chinese used to do, and it's a very hard thing to do. And you're not allowed to leave any longer than, except for errands or something, okay, when they're absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you sit there all day, out in the cemetery, in the open, under the weather, under the elements. It rains, it snows, it blows, it's hot, okay? You endure all those things. And then plus, not to mention the other ghosts and demons around there as well, okay? And so forth. So it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And he's by himself. So if you were to do that here, you would have died of starvation, okay? And you probably kicked out of the cemetery yourself. But over there, the Chinese, they have this tradition. So when they heard the Master Hsuan Hua was observing the filial piety by his mother's grave, so the Chinese would come and support him. They said, this is a superior person, so therefore they came and provided support, okay? And that's how it worked. And so people spread the words, and more people knew about it. That's why they came and made him more offerings. All right? I just don't understand why he decided to keep on eating these things. Okay, he's a little bit of a show off, I would say. Okay, yeah. If it tastes like excrement, what's the point in eating? It's no more nutrition. I mean, excrement, I don't think it does any good for your body. Am I wrong? It tastes no good either. If excrement tastes good, that's the reason to me. But so Master YongHua did things that are extraordinary, in other words. Okay, that ordinary people would not be able to understand. Who are we to judge him? Okay, yeah. But that's the background, the story. See, the Chinese are crazy. They used to do these things that are really extraordinary, and very difficult to do. They did it. They don't talk about it. Keep on talking and talking and talking. Okay, continue.
比那个粪呢还臭还那么难吃。
They were even stinkier than excrement, and also they tasted awful.
Isn't it better not to eat at all? Huh? I mean, it tastes bad and then you're poisoning yourself. But he would eat it. You see, it tells you this young boy here is no ordinary person. So that's the track record. You understand? You don't talk. Here, you do things in order to contribute to society. Observing filial piety is contributing to society. You know that? So he was doing that at a very early age already. Ask yourself, at your current age right now, what have you done to contribute to society? You keep on seeking for yourself. You're so petty. I want better for myself. What for? What good are you? He's an old man, but I ask him, don't die. I want you to contribute more to society. That's what we're about. You have work to do. I'm short-handed. You can't die. Contribute more society. Help me contribute more society. That's called cultivation. It's to contribute and help others. And it's not talk. In order to help others, you must develop skills. And you cannot develop skills on the wrong premise. If all you can think of is yourself, your skills cannot be developed. Because how many skills must you have in order to serve yourself? Huh? Think about it. Okay, continue. It's your standards in cultivation. Why do you think people get very high, very far? Because the standards are higher. Not so petty like yourselves. Get that straight. You want to go far, you need to raise the standards. Don't be so selfish. You always think of yourself, me. I want to be better, I want to be better. I want more, I want more, I want more. If that's the case, it's never enough. Continue.
现在你要是一想起来这个味道都请你做，当时。
Wow, this stuff. Now, if you think about this flavor, you would want to throw up.
你说的坏的这个样子， 如果雕了它吧，人家来供养，尤其是一个出家的，那时候我得。
At that time, they had gone bad to that point. If I threw them away, they were an offering from others, in particular from a left-home person.
仅仅这是杀的。那么要不掉它，这个东西真难吃。吃。
At that time, I was just a novice. If I didn't throw them away, this stuff really tasted horrible.
又辣又臭又太没有那么难吃的东西，从来就没有吃过那么难吃的东西。
They were spicy, stinky, and nothing tasted this horrible. I have never had anything this horrible.
那么可是有的人他们去看吃这个东西，就不叫吃，就会生。
Some people went there and saw me eating this. They told me to not eat them.
病，就说生病，生病，生病。
One would become sick eating those, would become sick.
What's wrong with the picture? It's so Chinese. I don't get it. What's wrong with these Chinese? Tell me. Chinese people, help me out. What's wrong with this picture? You don't know? The Chinese talk too much. Don't eat it, don't eat it. It's so bad, you're going to get sick. What's the matter with them? What would you do at Chung Yin Sunim? You eat it, right?
Yes, Master.
This guy lies through his teeth. What would you do? Take it away and bring him some fresh ones. No? To me, it's so obvious. It's a humane thing to do. Right? You see this person about to eat something like that, and you say, okay, just a minute, let me dispose of it for you. I'll bring you some more. Okay? Talk. You see, what did he say? The people who came to him say, he said, some people went there and saw me eating this. They saw the master eating. And they said, oh my God, don't eat it. You're going to poison yourself. Say, what? You argue with him now? He said, please don't eat it. Go. I don't get the Chinese. I mean, for us here, it's kind of weird. It's not real, you know? Like Matrix or something. It's another world where, you know, when you eat it, it tastes like steak and red wine. Yuck. Yes, too.
From Apple, how is observing filiality contributing to society?
You know, you do it and you find out. God, jeez. Must I explain everything? I'll give you a tip. Observe filial piety is contributing to society. I said, why? Go ask your master why, don't ask me. It's so stupid. Okay, you will become sick. You can't do that. You can't call it better to die. Okay, continue.
你在这不行了，不能修行，我们死了更好，何况病。
Then you can't do it, can't cultivate. it would be better to die, not to mention to get sick.
当时啊，那真是把身心都放下，所以吃这种东西也可以吃。
At that time, I truly let go of everything, so I could even eat such things.
See? Yeah, that's why. He truly let go of everything. He's a fourth stage arhat. Yes, too.
From Jane, background information. In the old time, Chinese thought it was a sin to waste food. The country has been through starvation many times. In the early 1960s, 30 million Chinese died of starvation.
Who's there at that time? Are we talking about the same exact era? Or is just some historical facts? Okay? But here's the point. The point is that he truly was able to let go of everything, taste and food, and everything. Okay? So he proved to himself that he could eat everything. But then, and then true to his form, the other Chinese saw that, oh, this guy's a special cultivator. That's how he started building his name and reputation. Okay, that's his path. Okay? Do things that others cannot. All right, continue.
我相信当时就是什么难吃的东西都可以吃，然后吃完了也没有病啊。
I believe at that time, no matter how horrible the food was, I could eat it. I finished eating them and didn't become ill.
什么事情也没有，这是我能做得到的事情。我想
Nothing happened. That was something that I could do.
相信呢，又是那一句话，从月的那句话，是常人做不到的，是不是啊？
I believe I'm going to say that again. I'm going to that again. I'm going to say that again. That was what normal people cannot do, isn't it?
有就没有，更做不到了。所以这国法你不要拿着个个都当师傅这么办。
Especially Americans, they can't do this. So 国法, you should not treat everybody like master.
你要拿每一个人都当师傅这么办呀，那他们都变成师傅，我又没有工作。知不道？
If you treat everybody like master, they all become masters, then I don't have a job anymore. This is one situation. That's the wrap of this story.
Okay, any questions or comments? He sees that he's a superior cultivator at a young age, and he's able to do things that ordinary people could not already. And what made him different is that he started with, unlike us, at a very young age. He wanted to propagate the Dharma in order to benefit others. So at a young age, even when he was very, very young, early teens, he started teaching the other monks sutras. Because back then, the other monks could not read, were illiterate. So he had to read sutras to them and try to speak the Dharma to the monks already. Okay, so so that's not just this is very important distinction to remember. He started with the right kind of direction, the right kind of mindset. It's never to benefit himself. If you have the wrong frame of mind, you get nowhere. Your results is very, very small. Like Chung Yin, he only lies and cheats. Whatever he needs to do to get by so that he gets out of trouble. You know? Should be, I give you another chance. What is your answer again? I forgot what the question was. I forgot the question already. You young man, how could you forget the question? There's no excuse. He lost his tongue, okay? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I've had the privilege of seeing Zhongyin Sunim eat, and it's pretty impressive. So I don't know if...
He's one of these monks, right? He could eat like 3 big bowls.
And go back for more. So I don't know that he would eat the hairy 8 fingers outside or not.
2 inside.
But I have no doubt if he put his mind to it, he could do it.
Okay. Defend yourself. Yes, old monk.
A Di Đà Phật. Cái câu chuyện mà Hòa Thượng ở ngoài Mã này là con rất là thích, cho nên con nghe tới nghe lui rất nhiều. Ở nhà con có cái đĩa này, hồi con còn cư sĩ á, thì Hòa Thượng nói lý do mà Ngài ăn cái này đó là tại vì Ngài, cái lỗi của Ngài là không chịu phơi. Ngồi đó là lo thiền không với đọc kinh không, rồi cái nhìn đã móc hết rồi. Hình như Ngài mới nói là của người Tăng cho là không dám bỏ. Thành với cái tâm trạng mà người Tăng cho cũng như của cúng dường mà của người Tăng cúng dường nữa, nhiều quý thức ăn, nên Ngài không phải vì thân thể của mình mà vì cái nghĩa, cái đạo đức, cái nghĩa tình đó mà Ngài ăn, chứ không phải ăn để no. Theo con nghĩ vì cái phước đó mà Ngài không bị bệnh. Xin hết.
Master, I really love the story that Master YongHua do the filiality for his mom. So that's why I listen over and over again about this story. And even when I was a lay person, I listened to it. And I remember he explained the reason that he has to eat it because it's his fault. He didn't dry it out because he was so concentrated on meditation and reading sutra or whatever. So he left it there, and then it's all get molded. And then plus because this is the offering from the left home people, and then because of the tradition, they treasure the food, and then because of the offering of the people, so that's why he didn't want to throw away. And I understand that he eat this one is not in order to get full or whatever, but he eat it because of the offering of the people. So that's why he didn't get sick.
Yeah, it's a good information. I didn't have the information. Now it makes sense. It's because he's grateful. He ate out of gratitude. Okay. I don't necessarily believe it's because it comes from a left-form person, from a monk. It's just that whatever happened, he's grateful for the offering, so he couldn't waste it. Whether it's from a monk or a lay person, it's all the same to him. Okay. And the reason he didn't get sick is because of his kung fu, his skills. Okay, and the information is not necessarily because of his merit and virtue. It's about skill level at that time. As per the details you provided, and combined with here is at that time he was attached to nothing. He was attached to no food. He was not attached to flavor. That's why it didn't bother him at all. He wasn't afflicted at all when he was eating excrement. Because if you ate it and it bothers you, then you will not be able to finish it. So even though it tasted like excrement, it didn't bother him at all. He wasn't afflicted at all. He didn't think of it as being spoiled at all. So that's why he was totally unattached. That's why he didn't have digestion problems. Okay, it's poison, basically. Okay, and it didn't bother him because of his skill level. And furthermore, at that point in time, he's in a different state. He wasn't like us, constantly afflicted by others, by stupid people. Okay, he was there by himself. All he had all day was to meditate and to recite sutras. So his mind is a state of mind where he was unafflicted already. Okay, so in a state of constant unaffliction every day, so for him to eat that thing is nothing. It's still nothing at all. That thing is nothing to him. Food is nothing to him. That's why. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, so this is the end of this story. Is another story coming up, right? Then if you have nothing, we don't want to get started. We might want to get started tomorrow at another story, okay? So we can stop here tonight unless you have other questions or things you want to bring up. Well, we can end a few minutes early so that we can... Yes? A question? Yes, one.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, cái chuyện ngài Hòa thượng Tiên Hóa đó thì ở đó bên Tàu thì ông cũng nghe nó ăn cái bánh bao này như vậy đó thầy mình không có thấy, thì mình nghe thầy ngài kể lại thôi. Thầy ở Mỹ này nè, thầy ngồi muốn nói tên cái người đó luôn á, bà Cùa Cao đó thầy cũng biết nữa.
I don't know her.
Bà Cùa Cao á, thì bà cũng theo sư phụ cũng lâu lắm. Thì một ngày tôi với bà lên trên pháp giới ở San Cuye, ở chỗ đó có 200 mấy cái phòng ở trên đó đó. Thì bà với tôi đi với cái cháu bà đi.
Sacramento.
Sacramento, không biết ở chỗ đó, không biết chỗ gì nữa. Thì tôi với bà với cháu bà đi ba bốn người đi lên trên để làm công quả. Thì cổ đó cái sữa đậu nành đó, thì cổ mua một hũ, thì cổ đưa làm cái món ăn cho tôi một phần, cho cháu ba một phần, với bà một phần, 3 phần. Thì mình đi đó, thì bà có làm 3 cái phần ăn. Thì tới làm cái 3 phần ăn xong đó, thì tôi không có ăn. Cháu bà với bà ăn. Tại bữa đó tôi đi thì tôi muốn đi trước á, tôi có ăn rồi, tôi nói thôi tôi no, tôi không ăn. Thì qua tới mấy ngày sau đó, thì cái một tô mì đó, một cái dĩa mì đó, nó thiêu tới mà nó đậy lại mà không có con dòi ở chổng thôi, nó thiêu để lấy lên nó nhớt, mà mình thấy sợ quá. Tôi nói con cháu ấy đó, tôi nói Ngân ơi, cái đổ bỏ đi. Cháu ấy nói là không được đâu, đổ bỏ hồi chút bà nội bà ngoại bà chửi chết luôn. Tôi nói rồi làm sao? Cái bà bắt cô Ngân đó ăn cái dĩa mì này. Ủa cô Ngân à, cô sao mà nó như vậy làm sao ăn được? Nên là cái phần này là giao cho tôi mà bả không có kêu tôi ăn, biết không? Cái thì một cái ly, một cái sữa đậu nành nó thành cái tàu hũ luôn, mà nó thành hũ mà nó lên bọt phình mà bà đổ vô một ly và bà ực vô rồi. Ực vô cái phần này đó để giao cho cháu bà ăn. Cái tôi nói là trời ơi, thôi bỏ đi, nó không được đâu. Bỏ rồi bà nội bà chửi. Cái tôi nói là gì làm sao ăn đây? Mình không biết hồi đó nghĩ làm sao. Cái tôi nói là thôi giờ đó cô đó, tôi chia cho cô một nửa, tôi một nửa. Ý nói thôi không, kêu tôi nói thôi cô không có ăn được đâu. Tôi nói bây giờ làm sao mà không được, bắt ni ăn như vậy thầy tội quá đi. Cái tôi lấy một phần nữa, ba phần đó, thầy cổ lấy 2, tôi lấy 1. Trời ơi, mình muốn để vô miệng mà để đâu có được đâu thầy. Mới lấy vô trong ấy thì nó hôi cái mùi đó, chua mà nó khó chịu lắm. Lấy ra cái tôi mới nghĩ đó, ngân bây giờ đó khó ăn quá chừng. Cái nên là bây giờ quậy một ly cà phê đó, vừa uống cà phê rồi vừa ăn cái dĩa đó luôn. Tôi nói trời ơi, ăn vô chắc đau bụng quá, cái này cái kia. Mà thiệt ăn vô không có đau bụng, không có gì hết trơn á. Thì tôi nghe cháu bà nói đó, bà nội tôi ở nhà, bà ngoại á, thường là ăn cái này không á. Mình nói là cái này là mình ở gần bả mình biết. Rồi nói sư phụ ăn như vậy đó thì mình cũng rất là có cái tin tưởng. Mô Phật. Rồi bởi vì tới sau này mình thấy đồ ăn cái gì đó cũng ok, cái nào cũng ăn được hết trơn á, không có lựa chọn những cái gì. Để lâu ngày quá, 3-4 ngày, 4-5 ngày đó thì có khi nó ấy thì mình bỏ thôi. Chứ những cái ngày đồ ăn mà thường á, ở nhà con cũng vậy nữa, con dọn ăn hết nữa chứ không có bỏ. Mô Phật. Thì bởi vì cái này cái thói quen của mình nữa. Mấy người nói ăn cái này bệnh đồ đau đồ này kia, tôi nói tôi không có nghĩ tới cái đó đâu. Mô Phật.
Master, talking about Master YongHua, the story when he was in China, and I only heard about the story, but I didn't see it in person. But then I can tell you another story that I can relate to. This person, probably you know, her name is Guo Gao. And she followed Master Shifu a long time. And then one time we came to visit the Dharma Realm temple in Sacramento. So I went with her and her niece, her niece or her granddaughter. And 3 of us went, and then she prepared food for 3 of us. But then because I already ate, so I say, no, I couldn't eat. And then that leftover food, nobody eat for after 2-3 days. And then finally they brought it out and eat it. Guess what? It's so rotten to the point like it's all mushy, and then it's watery came out and whatever. So I saw the granddaughter start eating and say like, hey, how come it's so bad, like maybe just throw it away, don't eat. But then because the granddaughter didn't dare to throw it away, she afraid to get yelled at, so that's why she tried to eat. And then I say, okay, how about I share a little bit with you. And then, I took 1/3 of it, and then the lady ate 2/3 of it. And guess what? The moment that I put it in my mouth, it's so difficult to eat. And then later on, she suggests like, okay, how about we make a cup of coffee, and then we drank coffee and ate that so that the flavor can overcome. And then she also said, like my grandma, she usually ate those kind of food at home. And because I saw that, and now I listen to Shifu's story, that I do have a lot of faith. And since then, I'm not really picky about food. I can eat anything. And then leftover people, I usually try to finish it unless like it's 4 or 5 days old, and then I throw it away. And people were concerned that I will get sick, but then I say no. When I ate, I don't really think about the food. I don't think about get sick or whatever, so that's why I'm okay.
Yeah, it's careful. Don't poison yourself. It's we can get in trouble. Food is spoiled, throw it away. and this is not China. Okay, please don't eat spoiled food. It's not a good way to practice. Okay, it's unwise. Okay, thank you everyone. Good night.